Okay, welcome back to this video here. In the last video, we looked at accidentals. We looked at sharps and flats, and I also neglected to mention that there is another kind of accidental, and it's actually called a natural sign. A natural sign. This is the sign, a natural sign. It's kind of like you do an L, and then you do kind of like a upside down L. And this basically just means not sharp and not flat, right? So this is a C natural. This is a D natural. This is a D sharp or an E flat. This is an E natural. And as we talk more about music theory, you'll come to realize the purpose and point of having natural signs. But for the purposes of where we're up to at this stage, it's fine. Just to not really need to know too much about the natural sign. Now, the reason we learnt about tones and semitones was because you may have heard of a scale. The word scale, right? Now, you may have some idea of what a scale is. A scale is, well, there are different kinds of scales, right? We are going to be looking at something called the major scale, right? Now, the major scale consists of 8 notes, right? C, well, doesn't have to start on C, but for example, if we were going to be looking at C major scale, C starts on C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. Now, I can't exactly play on, I don't think you'll be able to hear this. C. Okay, so what I'll do, I will sing it for you. C, so this note here, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. The top C and the bottom C, right? So a major scale sounds like I guess you might say, a normal scale or a happy scale. Something like that can be used to describe the C major scale. It can also be, do, a deer, a female deer. You might have heard that song. And at the end, and that will bring us back to do, 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 re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, or C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. This is all the sound of a major scale. Okay, so this is a very important scale, the major scale. A lot of music is based on different scales. There is a formula for the major scale, and it just so happens that it is quite related to tones and semitones. Okay, and now we just worked out what a tone and a semitone was, right? To recap, a semitone is the shortest distance between two notes, and a tone is 2 semitones. Okay, that's fairly straightforward. Now, the formula for the major scale. Now you might say, well, hang on, we've got our major scale, C major. Why do we need a formula? Well, you can also have D major scale, E major scale, E flat major scale, D flat major scale, C sharp major scale, F, or you can have a major scale starting on different notes. And that's why we need to work out what the formula is for a major scale. So, here we go. The formula for a major scale is we take our starting note, right? In this case, it's C, right? We take our starting note, and this is what we do. We move up a tone, right? We move up a tone. We move up another tone. Then we move up a semitone. then we move up a tone, a tone, a tone, and then we finish with a semitone. All right. Okay. So with it, that's the formula right there. That's something to really memorize, right? Now this is the formula for a major scale, right? Formula for the major scale. This is important. Now, what I'd like to do is work out what these notes are. So let's take C. C major scale is what we're going to work out. What is a tone up from C? Okay, so let's come over here. Here's C. Let's go 1 semitone. Let's go 2 semitones. D. Okay, so D is the next note. Let's go another tone up from D. Okay, so there's a semitone and there's another semitone, because remember, a tone is 2 semitones. So 1, 2. So E is the next note. Okay, now we have to go a semitone. Shortest distance up from E is F. Good. Tone up from F. Well, how about you pause this video and see if you can work out the rest, and then we'll come back. Okay, so tone up from F. So that was the semitone, right? Tone up from F. So well, that's 1 semitone, that's 2 semitones, which equals a tone. G, that's a semi, tone. That's a semi, that's a semitone. B, and to finish off we need semitone, which is just there to our C. Now, if you got that, excellent, well done. And it turns out it's with one of the most, or is the most basic major scale that we have. It doesn't have any accidentals. It doesn't have any sharps or flats. None of these are C sharp or F sharp or A sharp or any other interesting sharp. On the keyboard, it's all white notes. Okay, so this is C major scale. I'll try to play it on here so you can have a hear what it sounds like. Okay, so that right there is the formula to work out a major scale, and that's really something important to know. You should know that the formula for a major scale is tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone from our starting note, and that's a real important one. Always do the starting note first. I've seen people want to work out a major scale, and they go, okay, so there's C, so that's a tone, and then it's a tone, and then they haven't started. You really need to make sure that you start on your starting note first and then move up the tone, then the semitone, right? So I'm not sure if you might find a way of remembering this with some maybe acronym or some kind of shape or pattern or something, but it's just very important that you can remember this. Okay, so I'll leave this video here. In the next video we might look at constructing some other major scales but starting on different notes.